Well, this is another segment that we've introduced. We're going to teach you some. You know, with HGTV, everybody wants to be an interior designer. Everybody wants their event to be world class, and we want everything to be pretty, pretty, pretty. Joining us on set, Jennifer Govardhan, and she actually is one of the biggest names as it relates to interior design, decor design, making it, you know, and that's her email address at the bottom there. If you need to get in contact with her after this interview, I'm pretty sure you're going to want to get in contact with her. Jennifer, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Hema. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, you know, we have a lot of pictures to accompany this interview, but we're talking wedding designs and showcase. So we're switching things up a little bit on our decor segment this morning. How do you make your wedding design spectacular? What are some of the trends happening now?
All right, trends happening now: lighting, tablescapes, floral sculptures, everything that's really specific to creating that entire look that gives you that wow effect. Now, normally with decorating, you would find decorating is a little bit different from design, because you will decorate by adding embellishment, making something pretty, covering up for a purpose. But when you design, you put all those elements together, and the sum of the elements make everything just looks wow.
Now we have some pictures up on the screen and some of your designs. So we're talking flowers, we're talking, how important, I see a lot of your designs incorporate a lot of flowers, a lot of greenery. How important is getting that right mix?
Flowers are very, very important. I think we are surrounded, we live in Trinidad and Tobago, we live in a tropical place, we have so much beautiful flowers. But of course, to import some of these flowers that we want to use at the event is very, very expensive. So what I do sometimes is I source beautiful flowers from abroad that looks real, has a real touch, has a real feel. It's just that it doesn't look real, but you can never tell the difference, and you get that wow design for a fraction of the cost.
So that's one of the tips that we could talk about, actually using fake flowers.
Well, I wouldn't say fake. I would say real touch.
Real touch.
I would say real touch, and then what the secret, the trick is to incorporate a little bit of the real, a little bit of the fresh. So in case you have a client who, or maybe a guest who is at that table and may touch something, might say, yeah, no, okay, it's real. So the entire thing doesn't have to be real, but you need to add in a few elements in here that gives it that real touch.
A quick tip there from Jennifer, so you can mix the real touch and the real. Let me get it right. Getting centerpieces. Now you have beautiful centerpieces, and we have some up on the showcase there on the television screen. Sometimes I go to events and the centerpieces are beautiful, but I can't see the person at the next side of the table. What is a tip as a designer to have, wow, that's beautiful, to get that balance?
All right, so what happens is many people who decorate for events, they're decorating because they're embellishing and they're making something pretty. But they're not decorating with an intent. Design is decorating with it's decorating with an intent. So the design must have a function. When you design a centerpiece, you have to know there are certain elements that you need to consider, and not blocking the view of the person who is sitting across the table from you, not impeding that is very, very important. So you must know as a designer that you need to keep that piece at a certain height so it does not impede the view of the person across the table. And you can have conversation throughout the evening.
How important is a centerpiece?
Oh, I think a centerpiece, well, actually, it's the focal point to the table, and it really is an integral part that creates an experience for the guest. I think if you were sitting across the table and there was nothing on that table, and even if you just had beautiful flowers, that would be all you need. But of course, that's not all you need. That's not I would put.
Yes.
Alive, turning the ordinary into extraordinary.
Turning the ordinary. And we talk about draping, and you know now everybody has the covers for their chairs, and all of you getting the right color scheme.
Yes.
Because I can say that I like black and white. I like it simple, clean lines. But then part of my personality is very vivacious, and I like the colors. How do you balance the client's taste and making it tasteful?
Yeah. Well, you said you like black and white. No, the entire function doesn't have to be black and white. The entire event doesn't have to be black and white. What you have to do is sprinkle the black and white all around the event, because black is a very strong color, but it's a very grounding color, so that you can ground the entire event, the design of the event, with the black. And then you can have your pops of color that you like because your personality is vivacious. One of the things I always do as a designer, when I sit with my client, when I sit with my brides and I find out what they want, I say, okay, tell me. And I always try to find out what their personality is like, what are the things they love, what makes them excited, what makes them come alive. And then I try to incorporate those elements into the design. And even though my company is called Jennifer Govardhan Signature Weddings and Events, when I design for you, I make your event your signature wedding or event.
That's something I wanted to ask you about as as a designer, getting that personal touch, because you know, you have to make sure that the event is reflective of the person, no matter what. How do you find that balance with keeping it tasteful? Because I can tell you, I want every color under the rainbow.
All right. So one of the things that I do when I have my clients come to me is I would, after I have my initial consultation with them, I always prepare 3 demo tables. So I would have 3 different designs, and by the end of that session, if a client doesn't like one, most likely they're gonna like another. But what I do is I always add different elements to each table, and what happens at the end is that I always find that they always end up taking elements off of each table to make something that's totally perfect for them.
What's a trend now? We're talking weddings, because this time our home decor has taken a different twist. So we're not talking about inside your home, but making your wedding extra special.
Well, people now are looking at all the movies. They are looking at The Great Gatsby. They're looking at all of those
that's
things,
one of my
all
favorite movies.
Hollywood movies and so on, and bringing back all of those vintage things, the color scheme, the nettings, the hats, the things that make a table signature. So that's how they're incorporating a lot of what is happening. A lot of what is happening in the past is coming back now to inform what is taking place presently.
So retro is coming.
Oh, retro for
is
sure.
a big in.
You betcha. Yes.
Greenery and getting that. So we talk about flowers. You also incorporate a lot of green plants as well.
Yeah.
How do you find that balance?
I think that because we live in a tropical island, it's important to have the greenery around. Just the greenery acts just like the black. It grounds the room. It gives the room a certain amount of life. In addition to water features, because when you design, you're creating for all the senses. So you want to see something, you want to hear something, you want to smell something. So I always put scented candles on the table. So you get that effect because you're designing, you're creating an experience for your guests.
We're going to bring Jennifer back here to redesign our set
Yes.
of the morning brew.
I would love to, yes.
But quickly, before we wrap this interview, you are having an event, and we're talking about wedding expos, and we just showed some of big trends are happening. Everybody wants to make their day a little special. It's happening at the Hilton this weekend. We have all of the contact information. Why should people attend?
Because it's going to be not just decorating, but it's going to be different elements that you are going to be able to see how you can incorporate just a little bit of what is there. Different napkin treatments, different types of votive centerpieces, different types of chairbacks and tiebacks, and all the crystal clasps that are in now. And you will see how you can just incorporate just a little bit and make your event that wow event.
What is a popular color right now?
Well, I mean, I love hot pink. I know hot pink is, fuchsia. Hot pink is my signature color. So it's on my card, it's on my brochure. I wear it all the time. I'm not wearing it today because I don't know how the light would have taken to the hot pink. But I'm a hot pink girl. I'm a hot fuchsia pink girl.
So if you are going to go all out and you want to have color, don't be afraid. Experiment with a little bit. Your event must always be a reflection of you, your personality. Some quick tips there from Jennifer. And if you want to cut back on cost, I think one of the most interesting things, you can mix the feel real flowers and the real flowers. So you don't have to incur the cost from the florist for every single thing, and some design tips as it relates to your centerpiece. Always remember, you have to see the person at the next side, and your centerpiece is extremely important, no matter what table. So if you had to have one wow factor in your home, let's bring it to your home segment now. What would it be?
One wow piece. I always try to get away from all the little tchotchkes. So you may have 25 different things, but those things don't amount to one big thing. So you have one big thing. You have one big piece. You spend the money on one really special piece. It could be just a vase. It can be a fantastic piece of painting, which doesn't have to cost a lot of money. It can be maybe some wow cushions, and you have that one element, but it needs something wow.
Something wow. Always have that one wow factor in your home. I'd like to think I have the wow factor in my home. We're going to take a very, very short break. When we come back, we're going to have more for you as we continue homegrown. Stay with us.